The Boys season finale is getting destroyed right now online. What did you think about it? I think the problem is not the finale. The finale was not bad. They wrapped up a lot of the storylines okay, and they gave Homelander a good ending and Butcher a good ending in my opinion. Could there have been better? Yes, but for what we got and what we got to see with our eyes, it was okay, man. The problem for me is more the writing in general for the whole season. The way that the season felt like episodes 1 through 6, there were no stakes involved. Like there was, but there wasn't. The whole inconsistency with the Gen V characters. When Gen V season 2 ended, you would have thought that the Gen V characters were going to be right there alongside Butcher and the boys the whole season. But instead, they called them the JV squad and gave them little kid assignments. So my question is, what was the point in building Marie up for the whole point of Gen V season 2 and name dropping Homelander multiple times and giving her the same treatment as Homelander, saying that she's one of two and the other one is him? You could have built Marie up as a powerful character without comparing her to Homelander for a whole season and basically name dropping and teasing the fact that she is someone who could take him down. Like, I'm just confused. Is there something going on with Eric Kripke and Amazon? Is that relationship tainted? Like, what is going on? Because after Gen V season 2, it seemed like they were about to be a huge plot point in this season. And if you really think about it, all the deaths, aka Frenchie's death and Butcher's death, are null and void in my opinion. Because if Marie was just a normal part of the squad, like she was advertised to be at Gen V season 2, then she could have brought them back to life the way that she brought her sister back to life. Like, if she was a part of the squad like she should have been, then she would have been on her way back to the little bunker area where Frenchie got did up by Homelander, and she could have brought him back to life the same way she did her sister. Same thing with Butcher. But their refusal to acknowledge them as part of the regular team is why they're dead, which to me, I did cry when Frenchie died, but at the same time, it's like, it was an irrelevant death. Because if you just write the story a bit better where she's a part of the team, then nobody dies. And I know people have to die for there to be stakes, but that's where you just have to write things a little bit better. I mean, the fact that Marie is just out there ready to rock and roll and she wasn't utilized at all, you could have injured her in some type of fashion early on in the season to where she couldn't help out. There's different ways to write that. And they did honor Huey and Butcher's scene where Huey kills Butcher from the comics. Now, did they do it differently, and did the plot point have a different reason why Huey kills him? Yeah, of course, but the theme is still there. The reason is like the thematic reason is still there. And it did hit for me. I mean, I think that they honored this pretty well in my opinion. Now, the power scaling definitely was a bit off, and this is where you have to criticize Eric Kripke with that end battle scene between Homelander, Ryan, and Butcher, because it's like we were advertised for Butcher or Homelander, sorry, to be, once he became immortal, this like unstoppable being. And a lot of the criticism does come from the fact that once he got that, he didn't do anything but blast this Cyclops type of beam up to the sky, which was cool, but you know, we probably should have seen a little bit more from him, honestly. The whole season, he kind of, it was spent him like diabolically killing individual people one by one. But I think with the fans, we're kind of just looking for a little bit more of like a mass, like kind of showcase of power in a way. And so it is confusing when, like, in the past, Butcher and the likes of Ryan couldn't even hold down like a Homelander the way that they did in the past, but they could now. That's a bit confusing. I was waiting for Starlight and Maeve and some other people to bust through the window and kind of be like a whole boys team effort, but yeah, I guess it was only Ryan and Butcher only needed to do it. And I think a lot of us fans are just really mostly confused about the Gen V cast. Like, what was truly going on with them. I envisioned like a fight scene between Sam from Gen V and Ryan, and where Sam can be, kind of a guiding light for a younger Ryan, and like, hey, this kind of stuff happened to me, and this is how you get over it. Like, but nothing of that sort. I definitely think the season was rushed. Like, why did we only get 8 episodes? This could have been a 10 episode season where a lot of this stuff was flushed out. I mean, we didn't even get to see Homelander interact with Sage at all after she betrayed him. I mean, that's kind of unusual. Like, where was that? She should have pulled up at the end or something. I don't like to criticize and really hate too much on certain writers and stuff because it's their vision and it's their story, and I respect that. But at the same time, I can kind of critique it in the way of like it was rushed. Like this was clearly and obviously rushed. I mean, you did not show us what happened to Soldier Boy. I just like I kind of almost failed to believe that like this is the end of the story because certain things like Sage and Soldier Boy and the Gen V cast like were not wrapped up, and now we're gonna get a spin-off about the boys like Mexico. But I struggle wrapping my head around any boys stories going forward because it's like, how do you do that without Homelander? I think there was an avenue when it comes to the Gen V cast because I think you could have told a story where Stan Edgar takes back over Vought. He knows the Gen V characters, so while starting a new seven, the Gen V characters become the new seven. But in the boys story, we saw a seven in which they were okay with doing bad things and manipulated by a bad leader in Homelander, and the company was okay with doing bad things, right? But now with this new seven, which is the Gen V characters, we know that they're good. We know that they do good, and now it's about the good heroes within Vought and the Seven fighting against their own corporation, which whom is seeking to do bad things, which would be a completely different story from what we already saw. And that was my thought. But yeah, what did you guys think of the story? Ultimately, I love the show The Boys. The ending, I took it as it was, and I enjoyed it. I was very, very upset with Kamiko's ending, but at the same time, who am I to judge, right? I'm just a guy. So let me know what you guys thought. I give it I give it 8 out of 10. I give it 8 out of 10.